So this tool is called as RStudio. So here where you can do R programming. So here there is one package called as Rattle. So this Rattle package can be used for doing your machine learning algorithms. Means for performing the machine learning algorithms, we can use the Rattle package. So to call that Rattle package, first we have to include the library of that package. So library. So first I have to initiate call the library of that particular Rattle package. It is a free graphical user interface for data science. So here in background it will be using a R programming. So you are not doing any R programming here. Already the package is developed using the R programming. So I'm just calling that package here. So and then you have to give Rattle. You can kindly copy these steps. So as to you can download and install. So whenever you are installing any package, so directly it will install. Whenever you run a new command, it will tell like, okay, this particular package is not available, you have to download. So if you are running it for the first time, you may it may ask to you to install so many packages for visualization and all. So when you are doing it in the second or third time, it is not an issue, it will not ask anything. So first I'm just calling the library of that one, and Rattle will this will invoke the. So if I just give Rattle, this will invoke the one more tool that is called as R data miner. So if you just observe here, it has invoked one more tool. This is called as R data miner. So if you just go to the model here, we can use develop different models. Probably you would have heard about the SVM, support vector machine, random forest, neural network. All these models you can develop and try to interpret in this particular tool. So here first we'll just discuss about the decision tree here. So here first tab is for the data, means if I want to take the data inside to this particular tool, I have to go to this data tab. So in the data tab, click on the choose a file to open a data set, or load a data set. So I'm loading the data set here. So I have stored my data set here. So I'm taking a data set called as German credit rating. So in this we have to upload a file in CSV format, and once you upload this particular file, there is an option called as partition. So what will this partition do is, so whatever entire data set you have, that entire data set is divided into three parts. One is training data set, second one is testing data set, and third one is called as validation data set. So for the analysis, for me to do the analysis, it will be very easy. So if I don't divide the data set, so I'll keep this partition as unchecked. So afterwards, what I'll do, I'll just give it as execute. So in R data miner, what we have to do for every step, after every step or every modification, we have to give it as execute. Then only what will happen is, so all the changes will be updated inside the tool. So here I have many parameters. So I'll just consider few parameters for my decision tree development. So first what I'll do, I'll select all the columns here, and I'll just give it as ignore. So I selected all the columns and just again it as ignore. In this, for the development of decision tree, I'll just consider the duration and marital status and age as my inputs. And if you just open the data sheet and observe, I have my credit rating as my output or target variable. So here ignore means those variables will not be included in the model development. So if it is input means these variables will be used as an input for model development. So here target is the output variable. So I have set my duration, marital status and age as my input, and I set my credit rating as my output. So and then I given it as execute. So what will happen is, so these three variables as set as input and one as output. So just uncheck this partition and execute. Afterwards, if I just go to the model, so if I just go to the model, I'll give the minimum split as 3. Means what is the minimum splitting I want? So if I take a decision tree, how many minimum splits I want? And how many minimum buckets I want, I'll just give it as 3. And maximum depth means what is the level of the tree, means how many levels down it can come. So maximum levels it can come, I'll take it as 4. So and then I'll just give it as execute. So now if you just observe here, there are some statements and all came here, root 800 239, all these. We'll just see what is this in the graph kind of thing. So to visualize a graph, so what we'll do, we will just give it as draw. Once I give draw, so I have to just come back to my R Studio here. See, this is my R data miner window, this is my R Studio window. So I have to come back to the R Studio window. Here it has developed a decision tree here. So here it has developed a decision tree. We'll just try to see what is this 0.7, what is this 0.3. All these values we'll try to see. What is these things? I'm just zooming this one so that it will be analysis will be easy. So to just understand what are these values, I'll just go back to the Excel sheet here. So if I open this particular German credit rating, so this is the file what we are looking now. So what I'll do, so totally how many entries are there? 800 entries are there in this particular file. So what we'll do, we just take how many credit ratings is having as yes, so or 1. So what I'll do, I'll just take the credit ratings which are only 1 or. So here, so totally 800 entries are there. So out of that 800 entries, I have around, so I have around 560 entries as 0 and remaining, so I have how many? 560 entries as 0 560 entries as 0 and 239 entries as 1. So if I try to calculate how many of them are 0, so here I'll just go to a calculator. So totally 560 entries are 0 out of 800 entries. So if I just calculate here, I'm getting 560 divided by 800. So I'm getting it as 0.7. So if I just come back to my decision tree here, so here 70% of the entire data set is having the output as 0. So remaining 30% is having the data set as 0. Sorry, it is having as 1. So left hand side indicating it is how many zeros are there. So right side it is indicating how many ones are there. So in this form, which is the majority? Majority is number of zeros. So if I just stand at this particular node and try to decide the output, the decision what a data scientist can do is he can decide that the output is 0, means the credit rating is 0. So now what we'll do, we have taken one more criteria, that is duration less than 12. So if the duration is less than 12, so what will happen? So out of this entire 100%, so 19% of the data set is coming here. So if you just observe here, this is my entire 100% of the data set. Out of that, 19% is having duration less than 19. Sorry, duration less than 12. Remaining 81% is having duration greater than 12. So this left side is my duration less than 12. Right side is duration is greater than 12. So again you have to apply that method. So what I'll do, I'll just go to duration here. So I'll apply one filter here. So if the duration is less than 12, so if the duration is less than 12, so I just applied that filter. How many entries I got? I got the entries as 150. So totally 150 entries I got out of 800. So if I take 150 entries out of 800, so I'll be getting around 18.75. So approximately I got 19% of the entries are duration less than 12. So in this also, if I want to calculate how many are zeros, so in this also totally 150 entries are there. So if I try to calculate here, so here totally 129 entries are 0 and remaining 21 entries are 1s. So if I try to calculate 129 divided by 150, so I'll be getting it as 86. So if you just see here, 86% of this 19% data is having zeros. Remaining 14% is having ones. So if I have a duration less than 12, so there may be a chances that like I'll reach this particular node. So if you just observe, this node is a heterogeneous node. So probably whatever inputs I have considered for doing the development of the decision trees is not sufficient to create a homogeneous node. So similarly, if I take duration greater than 12, so here again I have 81% of the entire data set. So I have taken one more here. So that is duration less than 35. So here left side means from the decision criteria, whatever nodes I have on the left side, it is yes. So whatever on the right side, it is no. So if duration is less than 35, I have 65%. If duration is greater than 35, I have remaining 16%. Like that. See, this is second node. So this is how we can analyze the decision tree. So next we have something called as, so hope all of you have understood these values, what are present in this particular node. So here, if I just go to the model again, if I just go back to the model again, so there is something called as rules. So if I just go back to the model, I have something called as rules. So if I click on these rules, so here I am getting the rules here. So tree as rules. So first rule, what you can observe is rule number 15. Rule number 15. What is that rule number 15 means? So if you just observe this particular node here, so all whatever leaf nodes are there, how many rules I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rules are there. So I have 5 rules here. So here also I have 5 nodes. So how many nodes are there? 5 nodes. So rules is basically how to reach that particular node. So how to reach this particular node 15? So first condition what it has to satisfy, duration should be greater than 12. So if it is greater than 12, it will come here. And second one is duration is greater than 35. So if duration is greater than 35, it will come here. So if and marital status is not equal to single, then it will reach this particular node 15. That is what is written here. So if I go to So if I go to this rule number 15, so I'll be getting the output. What is this credit rating equal to 1 means? I'll be getting the output as 1 because here I have majority as 1 here. So majority of the inputs means the data outputs what I have, it is 1 here. So if I reach this particular node, I can say that I will be getting the output as 1. So in this entire data set, how much of the data set this is coming? So it is having 5% of the data set. So here it is 100%. That has split into 19% and 81%. This 81% is it is again split as 16% and 65%. And the 16% it is again split as 11% and 5%. So if in the entire 800 data sets, so 5% of the data sets is having this particular combination. So that is your 5% here. So what is the probability? So probability of it becoming 1 is 0.68 means here 68% of the data sets is having 1. So that is your probability. So here the rules, duration should be greater than 11.5. Here in the diagram I can just visualize 12. They have just made it sealed the number and duration is greater than or equal to 34.5 like that. So in the examination, you have to write these particular rules. So they'll be giving what is the minimum split and all. So you have to develop the decision tree. You have to write this decision tree in your booklet, and then you have to write the rules of the decision tree. Rules of the decision tree is basically how to reach the leaf nodes. That is the rules of the decision tree. One way is you can just visualize from the diagram and then write. Second way is you can just click on this rules, so it will generate the rules. So that rules you can write. So now we'll just go to the Python implementation of the same. So for the analysis using the Python, I have taken one more data set. Whatever data set we have discussed in the uh, previous lecture when I am explaining the concept of decision tree, I have taken the same data set, that whether a person will buy a computer or he will not buy a computer, that same data set I have taken. So initially we'll just read the pandas data frame, numpy, all these things, and we'll be reading the Excel file here. So once I read the Excel file, I can just see that a data frame is created here. So in this data frame, I have the age, income, student, whether he's a student or not, and whether he's having a credit, how he's having a credit rating, whether he'll buy a computer or not. So before me doing the development of the decision tree, if you just observe here, all the variables what I have here, it is of some alphabets, means it is not some numerical values. So whenever I want to develop any decision tree or develop any mathematical model, I want a numerical values for this one. So for that, what we do is we encode these values to some numerical value. So for that, we have something called as label encoder. So it is similar to the creation of the dummy variable. Whatever dummy variable creation you have done, it is similar to that one. So it is, the concept is similar to creation of the dummy variable. So here, that label encoder, it is present in a package called as sklearn. So it is also one of the library. So I'm just reading the sklearn library, and this label encoder, I'm just reading that particular function. So in the sklearn, I have one function called as label encoder. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm creating a alias of this label encoder. So whatever label encoder function is there, I'm creating a alias of that label encoder for each variable. Totally I have 5 variables here: age, income, student, credit rating, vice computer. So I'm creating a alias. Alias means it is like a copy. So I'm just creating a alias for this one. So for all the 5, I created an alias. So now what I'll do, I'll just create for age, and I'll show you the data frame to you. Afterwards, we'll just generate for others also. So how many columns I have here? So I have totally 6 columns here. So here in this data frame called as data, I'm creating one more variable called as age underscore n. So age underscore n meaning, so it is a numerical values of age. So totally age is having 3 categories. One is youth, middle aged, and senior. So in that, I'm creating a numerical variable for that age. So here, what I'm trying to do, I'm calling this LE underscore age and fit underscore transform. So what it will do, so first, these values will be encoded to some value, and that will be replaced by a numerical. We'll just see what will happen. So here, one extra column is generated here. So if I just drag this, see here, if I just see age. So here, youth is labeled as 2. All the youths are labeled as 2, seniors are labeled as 1, and middle aged are labeled as 0. See what it has done, this label and encoder and the fit underscore transform, it has created some dummy variable for this particular age variable. When we are doing the dummy variables, what we are getting, you are getting a binary values. But here I have a decimal values, that's all. Similarly, what I'll do, I'll create a encode, I'll encode it for all the other values. See, now it has created a numerical values for all the things here. So I had all the quantitative variables. For that I created a, or categorical variables. For that I created a dummy variables or encoded that into some numerical values, so that I can develop the model. So after that, here in this particular step, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to develop one more data frame. So here, this in the entire data set, so what will this data dot drop? What will this drop function do is, so it will drop the variables which are not required for me. So once I develop all these variables, I don't require this age, income, student, credit rating, because those, using those I cannot develop the model. So I am creating one more model, one more data frame, which is just having the numerical values. See, age underscore n, income underscore n, credit and credit rating, student underscore n. So afterwards, I'm just defining here what all are my inputs. So here, which all are my inputs? Age underscore n is my input. Income underscore n is my input. Credit underscore rating is my input. Student underscore n is my input. So just created a inputs here. So later, in that I don't want the bytes underscore computer in this one, correct? So RID means reference ID will not be used to develop the model. So I have to drop that particular in my input X, and bytes underscore computer is my Y. So what I'm trying to do, I'm taking this entire data underscore new data frame. From that, I'm dropping bytes underscore computer and reference ID. So what will happen? So new X will be generated. So it has generated a new column here. It is similar to the data underscore new, but in this X, what is missing? RID is missing and bytes underscore computer is missing. So now what is Y? Y is your output. So it is my output data frame. So generally after this step, what we'll do, we'll generate a training data set and testing data set. But here I have only 14 entries. So with this only 14 entries, I cannot generate a training data set and testing data set. So it is, I have very limited amount of data set. So what I'll do, I'll generate the decision tree using the entire data set. So for that, we already have a function called as decision tree classifier. So what will this decision tree classifier do is, this will develop the decision tree. See, this is the decision tree classifier. So where it has so many options. So it has used a concept, means I told you about two things. One is called as Gini index and gain entropy information. So here this classifier, as by default it has used the criterion is Gini. So I can also give the criterion here. So if I just go to criterion equal to gain, so it will do the consider the criterion as gain. So you can do like that. So this is about your model development.